All right, we're back with game two. This is a 4-5 mixed bracket match played at the Mile High Classic at Apex in Arvada. On the close side, we've got myself, Elizabeth Roy, and Dan Reese. And then on the far side, we've got Leah Peterson and Leor Schneegel. Looks like Leor is going to battle with a grasshopper. They were all over the courts all tournament weekend, kicking them off right and left, trying to avoid any murder scenes. And we're off.
All right, we need the following players to go to court number 10 for a gold medal match on the 4-4-5, 60 to 64.
A decent first point, but Dan missed that last dink, just hit the tape, and it chose to roll onto our side, so we got a side out. Leah speeding up down the line. Dan was ready for it and countered. She popped that last one up just enough for me to get a real good rip on my forehand and was able to finish the point. Dan got aggressive with that fourth ball, but pushed it a bit too deep. So they have the first point on the board, 102. Nice roll from Dan, earns a pop-up there, and Leah's doing a great job getting him back. That last one, Dan couldn't leap and reach, so just had to try to run it down, and I did not have enough time to get around that ball, so threw up a Hail Mary, which was surprisingly close to touching the net, but it was not getting in. Yeah, definitely should have tweenered it. That's not a shot I have yet. So we've got 0-2-1. I just wanted to reset and wait for the right opportunity, but Leah went down that line again, and Dan countered right at her feet and got it on the board. So 1-2-1. She's not so sure about the score here. She just wants to double check, make sure we're good. A heavy slice return from Leor, and I couldn't clear the net on that one. So much for my last video where I talked about how I get them over the net and know how to deal with them. But it's still good advice, so lift that ball. A nice step-in attack there from Dan. Way to get in there and cause some trouble. So we've got twos all around. Nice powerful serve from Dan, earns us a point. A nice drive from Dan, and then Leah did a great job keeping it away from him, getting it to his backhand side. We are going for a heavy slice drop, but I rolled that down the middle towards Leah's backhand. We got a pop-up. Dan was able to finish the point. A wild side spin serve from Leor there, and he caught me on the run. That crazy serve takes away time for me to get to my spot, and great job moving me around, putting a lot of pressure on me on that point. We're just trying to keep Leah back here and doing a pretty good job. She's getting the balls back, but then that last one set up a little bit, just enough for Dan to jump in the middle for the put away. So we got the serve back. It's 3-2-1. A little wide down the line there from Leah. And a misdrive from Dan, maybe moving through the ball a bit too much on contact, but it was a great idea to try to create a little confusion on the stacking. Nice slice return, and then I was not set for that last ball. He went right to my feet. Leor throws one up to try to get some time to get to the net, and Dan, it's a super wide angle to Leor's backhand. Tough ball. A nice drop from Leah, and then she sped that ball up out of the air. Probably caught Dan off guard. It looks like he was on the ball, but maybe swung a little early. Possibly just swung down at it a bit too much. That last one floated up, but I pushed it just a bit too wide. Great drop from Leah, earned a floater and got aggressive with it, but Dan blocked it and just missed that last put away. So we've got a side out. They have the lead. Really going for my serve there. Pushed it long, so we got second server. And a missed drive sends the serve back to their side. If you're me, you're like, man, I sure did burn an opportunity to get a point on the board with that missed serve. It's a no-no for tournament day. I got in Dan's way here a little bit, but realized and moved out of the way for him to do his thing. Good job from Dan relocating that ball over to Leah's side. I left that dink up a little high, and Leor slid into the middle and body bagged me. He feels bad, but he shouldn't. And an extremely deep return missed from me, so auto timeout. As soon as I hit that ball, I called it before it even bounced. Definitely need a reset. And we're back. So it's 7-4-2, Leah serving. Just trying to keep Leah back, the ball over on her side, and then that last one from Dan just had too much power right at her feet, couldn't dig it out. So a good timeout, we got the serve back. Leah sped that ball up cross court, and I was able to counter it down towards Leor's feet. Kind of just hung up a little bit for me, and I was able to attack that next ball. So now we've got 5-7-1. I usually drop the ball, so I was feeling feisty in that moment. Drove it, and then popped one up, got a reset. Then this ball, I definitely hit it out. Leor saved me, and then a little bit of a hands battle. Tried to close it, but ball control was just off. So we've got a second server. That ball from Leor kind of floated a little bit, and I hit it terribly. I tried to lift it to drop it, but I hit it straight up and got burned, so it's going to be a side out. Nice placement on that drive from Leah to try to catch me on the move. And that last ball, she tried to go behind Dan, but he was ready for it and was able to put it away. So nice finish, earns us a side out. Nice powerful serve from Dan. Nice slice return from Leor. And then great fourth ball from Leah. Went to Dan's backhand. Great placement. Oh, that's a nice shot. I hit a really deep serve, which took time away from Leah getting to her spot, and Dan used the opportunity and went straight down her line. So we've got another point on the board. We're going to have 6-7. And going big, hit it long. So quick side out. Hit a couple good balls deep, trying to keep them back. So it's going to be 7-6 too. And a nice rolling drop from Leah. Dan wanted to roll that ball back and keep her at the baseline, but just hit the tape. Couple really powerful balls from Dan. Great defense from Leor and Leah. And that last one, she went up the line and went to close the point out, but just a touch late on the ball. That's a nice momentum shifting point. Leor and Leah put up a great battle and had amazing defense in it, but we ultimately came out on top, and it's time to make a run for it. That last ball, I just hit it bad. My paddle was pretty low, and I just didn't adjust in time. I hit an out ball, and hands battle started. Leor body bagged me again. My paddle positioning is really low. I'm going to have to work on that. I hit that return long, so they've got 9-6-1. And a missed return puts Leah and Leor at 10 game point. So we took a timeout to try to slow their momentum down and just make a last-ditch effort to get the ball back and have another crack at it. So we'll see what happens. So we're back. It is game point, 10-6-1. These guys want to push us to a game 3, so let's see what happens. Good lead from Dan. So we got another game point here. And a missed dink. That was a great spot. Leah went kind of behind Dan, pushed him off the line a little bit, and just missed that one. So, going to be a game 3. So, stay tuned to see who ends up taking this one. Okay, we're back with game 3. So, we won the first one. Leah and Leor won the second. And I thought this was our best game, so I haven't watched the playback, but I have a feeling it'll be the most entertaining. A good first point. Leo hit that last one wide, but a good little battle. So we got the side out, and it's 0-0. A nice spot going wide to Dan's backhand from Leah, and we're going to have the second server. A nice deep serve from Dan, and just misses the drive. So ball's going to Leah here, still zeros. A pretty slice drop from Leor, and Leah finishes the point with a limbo shot right past Dan's backhand. And a bit long on that return, so we've got 2-0-1. And Leor wanted to check the score here, so we're just having a little conversation. This was semifinals, by the way, so the winner is in the hot seat and the loser goes on to play for bronze. There is a come around on this tournament, so no matter what happens in this game, we definitely expected to see these two again. A pretty solid two-hander to finish this point, and we've got Leor serving next. Nice drive from Leor. And good deal with that net bounce from Leah. Leor got the ball he wanted, just pushed it along, so we got a side out. Leor and Leah really have the momentum going into this game, and now they've got a couple points on the board. Dan and I need to figure it out, and it's not going to happen like that. So let's see if Dan can get his serve in play, and we can get a little bit of a run. And a pretty tight line call from Leor on Dan's serve. I asked Dee if she saw the ball. She said she didn't, so we got the side out. No points there. A missed block from me. I look pretty defeated in this moment. Look at that body language. We got to do the James. Start bouncing around a bit. The right idea from Leor there. Cross-court dinking with the girls. You got to look for that ball you can get aggressive with in the middle, but seemed like he just needed to reach a little too far for that one. A short return from me, and Leor's just trying to keep me back, and I did an okay job with the resets, but that last ball I had taken a couple steps in and didn't move well enough. Me and Dan are really getting behind in this game and need to turn it up very soon. Leah hit a great drop to Dan's backhand, but he got it back to Leor's side. Got a little pop-up for me to finish at Leah's feet while she was moving in. So we got the serve back. Nice drop from Dan. Leah hit that one just wide. It is go time for me and Dan here. So we've got 1-4. A good attack from Dan, but Leah blocked it, and Dan just sent that last one long. We've got another serve, though. Leah looking for that line on Dan's backhand side again, but just a bit wide. Leah sped up cross court at me, and I was ready with a two-hander and just going full swings here. I felt pretty strong after that point, so I'm curious to see if we got the next point. You know, side note, some people can seem to like recall specifics about a game, but as soon as it happens, I'm forgetting. So I did remember that point because it was a hands battle that I won, but that's like pretty much it. So this really is like watching it for the first time for me. Tell me in the comments, are you like me or are you like my husband where you can seem to remember every little detail about a 3-hour rec session? A great drop from Leah, and Lior came in to take that next ball, put a lot of pressure on me, and I pushed that last one wide. Great play. Nice aggressive play from Lior, and these guys got to 6, so we're going to be switching sides, and we're at a pretty big deficit here, so we definitely need to turn it up a notch. So we're going to have 6-3, Leah serving. Some good power from Dan. He rolled that ball. Leah tried to soften it, but popped up just enough for Dan to have a nice forceful put away. So we got second server, 6-3-2. Nice power and placement from Lior on that point. And that last one, I kind of tried to do a bailout lob, and Lior had some great hops and got that down at Dan's feet. We got a side out and need to make a run for it. It's going to be 3-7. I'm just trying to drop the ball, continue to reset it. Leah's being aggressive, and she shoots her shot down the line. Dan countered it really nicely with his backhand, and we got the point. So finally on the move. Another pretty tight line call on our side this time. And a missed drop puts us at 5-7-2. And another miss serve for me. We had way too many of those in this particular match. If you reflect on how many serves you missed, those are opportunities to score a point that you just completely burned. Like, what's your score if you didn't miss those serves? maybe 50-50 on the points you would have won off of it. So just sacrificing way too much. A deep return and a misdrive from Lior, but these guys have a second serve, so it's going to be 8-5-2. Rolling the ball cross court at my opponent's feet is one of my most utilized weapons in mixed, whether they be in transition or it's a dink. It often earns a pop-up for Dan to come in and put away, and with his power, it's a tough ball to get back, so works well for us. Dan played such a nice point there. He took that first drive, got aggressive, kept it up, and then I missed this last ball.
Mixed doubles, 3-5, 35, 49. Medal announcement. Bronze, Kevin McCurry and Andrew Slade. Silver, Justin Griffin and Trisha Kupak. Gold, Aaron Raff and Stephanie Raff.
Lior had a nice heavy slice return that I had to pop up a bit, and they were able to keep us back. I missed that last drop, so we got a side out. And a miss return. Both of us are pretty annoyed with ourselves. We need to get it together. We're 4 points behind, and they're 2 away from the win. And a missed drop from Leah is exactly what we needed. Some nice moves from Lior. He had a great drive. I tried to block it away from him, but just high enough for him to go right at Dan's body. If Dan could have gotten out of the way, I think that ball was going out, but like a fast body shot and a big target, that's tough. So this is match point, 10-5-2. We're really in a do-or-die situation here. And that drop from Leah just a bit wide, so we got the serve back. Tough spot on the drop from me, right in the corner of the kitchen, and pushed Leah back a bit. She went to speed it up down the line, but a soft dink just right in front of Dan would have been perfect. He's not earning her, so could definitely get away with that. And a really nice deep serve from Dan. Lior couldn't get it over, so we're on the move. We've got 7-10. Same exact play, but she did do the dink down the line to Dan and then was able to roll that ball at me, get the pop-up, and finish the point. So perfectly played there, Leah. A deep serve from me, and then a nice diving shot from Dan. I'm pretty sure he's the one that hit that ball. I think Lior got a spin back on that one. It dove. So we've made up a lot of ground. We have 8-10, 2. Couple of out balls hit, I think, there. And a low reset from me. We got a pop up, but Dan was just a bit late on that ball, so we got to hold him 10-8. Kind of a wild point here. Dan did a great job moving the ball around, and on this last one, Lior was really out of position, but he got back and tried to take it as a volley. He almost had it, but look at this. He does a full loop around Leah. Leor, you got grit, my friend. We're going to take a brief time out. We got some cramping issues on the court, so we'll be back. So coming off of this timeout, we got 10-8-2. Just wide from Leor on that last ball, so we got the side out. A tough ding from Leor. I just short hopped it, tried to do my best to get it back to the middle, but he was able to get a pop up off that play. So a nice finish for him, and we're on second server. That was going to be a really nasty return from Leor, but just a couple inches out. So we got another point, and we are approaching a tie game here. An unfortunate net bounce on Dan's overhead, and then Leor playing some great defense, just getting the ball back, make us hit another, and that last one went into the net, so they got a side out. So another match point attempt for these guys. So a little net bounce there, and Dan softened that last ball up really nicely, landed right at Leah's feet, and we got a second server. Some nice powerful shots from Dan earn us the side out, so we've got another chance to tie it up. I stay back a little here to let Dan have some space to do his thing, and when he gets that ball that's wide to the line and has to take it off the bounce, I creep in and fill that gap. It's a delicate balance with doubles, especially mixed doubles, where you have typically a guy taking over a bit more in the points. You got to give them the right amount of space and let them know that they are free to just do whatever they need to do, but then also be there to fill the gaps, have their back, and make sure that if they are overextended, you're there and ready to step in. So we've been able to tie it up here. Leor missed that return, and now we're at 10-10. Just a touch wide on that dink. And these guys are going to take a timeout. So Dan and I have held off some match points from them and able to get to one of our own. So good time to take a timeout and try to hold us off from getting the win. And we're back with match point for Dan and I. An unfortunate net roll for Leah, and that does it. Dan and I only lost a couple games that day, and these guys got one of them. So it was a lot of fun, hard-fought match, and these two went on to get bronze in our event. So congratulations to them, and thanks for watching.